Hey guys, it's Leandra and Happy New Year! I decided to not film any videos during my Christmas break because I was spending my time and Christmas with my family, and then I was visited by a really good friend of mine, and then I was really busy studying for uni, so I decided that for the 3 weeks that I had off for Christmas, I wasn't going to film anything, but I am back again. I am going to try to bring out videos to you guys again for each week. Today I'm coming at you guys with a very special review, which is actually for a book that hasn't been released yet, but I'm dying to talk about. This review will be spoiler free, so don't worry about it. I'm just going to give you guys an idea of what this book is about and why I think you guys should pick it up. So The Dysasters by PC and Kristin Cast is a new young adult book series which is going to be coming out on February 26th of this year. I already had this book pre-ordered, and I definitely would recommend that you guys pre-order it right now because I had a great time reading this arc. I would like to thank NetGalley for sending me a copy of this book. Like, literally when I saw that I got accepted to read this book, like, I screamed so loud, and my mom and my boyfriend were like just looking at me like I was fucking crazy. But yes, The Dysasters was actually one of my most anticipated reads of 2019. So when I saw that I was able to read it before other people were going to read it, I mentally completely freaked. For those of you who are new to this channel, the House of Night series by PC and Kristin Cast, a very controversial series which some people really love and some people really hate. I personally really love the House of Night series. It is a series that has a lot of meaning to me, especially as I was reading it as I was growing up and going through a kind of a difficult time period as I moved here from a different country. Nevertheless, The Dysasters is written by the same duo, author power couple, which is Kristin Cast and her mama PC Cast. When I heard that they were co-authoring another series about teenagers with superpowers, I was like, yes, I'm on board with this. So The Dysasters follows a young teenage girl named Foster and a teenage boy named Tate. They both have sort of strange supernatural abilities which have to do with the weather. So Foster can sort of manipulate things, and she can sort of also talk to plants, and she sort of has some sort of control over clouds and other weather-like things. And basically the two of them get thrown together due to unforeseeable and crazy circumstances where they must run and hide from a group of maniac villains who want to basically abuse them and their power. I can't spoil very much about this, but I gave 4 out of 5 stars in Goodreads. It wasn't my absolute favorite PC Cast or Kristin Cast book. However, I did think that this book was a very interesting and a very powerful debut novel to this new series, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. I think that Foster was a very interesting teenage girl. She was very strong. She has a very present sort of tone in the book. Like, she knows what she wants and she will go for it. Tate, on the other hand, he's a bit harder to read. I think that he has interesting things that he's not really telling people yet, but it's really interesting to see the two of them interact and kind of get over maybe certain differences that they might have. I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, but I do have to say that my absolute favorite thing about this book must be the villains. PC Cast and Kristin Cast know how to write villains well. They are very complex. They have almost like a plan that you can almost sort of understand to a certain extent, and I think that's something that I really love about villains in books. I think something that makes villains very interesting to read about is when you can almost sort of relate to them to a certain extent or understand where their sort of evil motives are coming from. Now, obviously this doesn't justify what they're doing or the evil that they're doing or the harm that they're creating, but it does kind of sort of make you understand where they're coming from. It makes villains very complex. It also means that they have a lot of depth to them. I think that this is something that PC and Kristin Cast just do so excellent, especially in the House of Night series where they wrote about the evil Neferet. She had a lot of issues. She was very complex as well, and I see the same thing with PC Cast's new series, and that is something that I just really noticed in this book. So this book follows 5 villains. You have Matthew, Mark, Luke, Eve, and then Dr. Rick Stewart. They have their own sort of issues, and they are basically trying to capture Tate and Foster for, yeah, like their own evil motives, or kind of not really evil motives, depending on the way you're seeing it. And that is definitely the thing that I really liked most about this book. Then we also get introduced to a new character who is called Charlotte, and I am not going to spoil anything about her story. She isn't integrated as a main character in this book yet, but you can definitely see that in any subsequent books that they're might be she will probably have a bigger role to play. And she was just absolutely darling. I loved her so much. If you guys read this book, I'm sure you guys will love Charlotte as well. She also has a very, very complex past, issues that she's had to deal with. Again, I think PC Cast and Kristin Cast are very, very good at creating characters that have complex histories, that have their own issues, who know that they're not perfect, who, you know, can own up to their mistakes and grow from them. And I think that that is something that I also saw happening in this book, which I really liked. Now, personally for me, I wish that the magic system maybe would have been kind of expanded upon a little bit. However, I do have to say that for a first book in a series, there was enough information about the magic in the world and how it sort of worked to keep me interested in the story. However, there were also gaps that were, I'm assuming, on purposely left blank for any sequels, and I am super excited, and I definitely hope that there are going to be sequels to the Dysasters, because I think that this is a series that has quite a lot of potential. The magic in this world is also very, very interesting. It is kind of an interesting mix between sort of like a sci-fi magic where you can almost understand like the scientific reasons for something coming about, but there's also this element of sort of more wild magic in it, if that makes sense. In the House of Night series and other series which PC and Kristin Cast have written about, their magic systems are usually based upon some kind of spiritual foundation, and in a way you can almost sort of feel that with this book as well. There is kind of like this connection between sci-fi, like science, and how something, you can actually explain something through scientific methods, but there is also this sort of element of, I wouldn't say spirituality, to the extent that you have in the House of Night where they get their powers directly from the goddess, but there is this sort of element of being one with the earth, being one with nature, sort of kind of putting yourself out there in a more free and spiritual way, if that makes sense. There's this kind of spiritual element to it, even though there isn't like a kind of set religion, and that is something that I really liked about this book as well. I'm also super interested to see how these powers are going to be expanded upon, because obviously we only get a small taste of what Foster and Tate are capable of in this book, but I am definitely excited to see that being expanded upon in any subsequent books. I think that the only kind of critique that I would have to this book is that there was a small element of sort of like insta-love. However, there is something that happens in this book, which I'm not going to spoil, which kind of makes you understand why this insta-love kind of happened. There's something that happened in the past that would cause this to happen in the book, and so I can't really critique that so much, because even though I'm not a huge fan of insta-love and think that it's kind of like annoying, and I think insta-love is very, very unrealistic, in this world with this sort of magic system and with the things that happened that led to the events that kicks off the series, I understand why this insta-love happened, and I definitely hope that it gets expanded upon in any sequels, but that would really be like my only complaint about this book, and I definitely would recommend that you guys pick it up. Now, I don't actually know if there's going to be a sequel. There hasn't been one announced yet. You can definitely tell from the end of the book that there should be more books, and I am definitely eager to find out. Knowing PC and Kristin Cast, I'm sure they will release information about a sequel very, very soon. Like I said before, The Dysasters releases February 26th of this year. Let me know what you think about the book when it comes out, and if you guys are interested in me doing a spoiler review of this book when it actually releases, please let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments if you actually were able to read The Dysasters already, or whether you were also anticipating it for its release on February 26th. Yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys are having a great day, night, morning, wherever you are, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye!